It was the summer of 2012, a little after 3 a.m. I was protecting an American compound in the Saudi Arabian desert, along with my fellow Texas reservists. That night, I had solo patrol, and I was not a poster child for vigilance. I had my feet up on the seat. My ballistic vest and M4 rifle lay sprawled on the passenger side floorboard. I assumed this posture despite warnings from my superiors that outside our razor-wire top walls lay madness. While just a few countries over, and a few weeks ago, terrorists, posing as protesters, had breached our embassy in Benghazi, Libya. They had killed 4 Americans and burned the place to the ground. The official word, what could happen there, could happen here. Unofficially, I did not believe any hostile force would ever come to our little quiet corner of the desert. I was the veteran of 100 battles that never happened. I joined the Air Force at age 17. The military was the best ticket out of Mesquite, Texas. I rode that ticket all the way to South Korea, West Germany, Panama. And in all those places, I never looked opposition in the eye. Now I stared out at the desert while I stuffed my iPhone back in my fatigue pants pockets. I had just talked with my fiancée, Lisa, back home in Dallas. She told me if I got killed over here, she would never speak to me again. After we said our love yous and I hung up, I cranked up Armed Forces FM. Tom Petty's Running Down a Dream came on. It was a good thing I had solo patrol because I sang along. And it was really bad. Running down a dream that never would come to me. Pop, pop went the sound of our dash-mounted tactical radio as it squawked to life. Control, this is Sierra 4. I see an individual approaching our fence line. Sierra 4 was an observation post, clear on the other side of the compound. The worry in Sierra 4's voice, and the fact that someone was on our fence line at 3 a.m. made me bolt straight up and grab the steering wheel. I had the truck in drive and was rolling out towards Sierra 4 when our control desk boomed out. Echo 1, Charlie 1, Charlie 2, Charlie 3, respond Sierra 4, code 2. I grabbed the radio mic, but it slipped. I slipped down to pick it up, then popped back up. Sierra 3, responding. Then I had to go code 2, which meant overhead lights but no siren. No problem. But I punched every button before I got the blue and white lights going. Okay, I thought, everything is under control. Focus. I have to haul ass over the Sierra 4. Then I missed my turn. I hooked a sloppy U at the ball field, kicked up a dust storm, and sped off towards Sierra 4's gate. I heard the second transmission from Sierra 4. There's more of them running up the fence. There's 30 to 40! 30 to 40 people at our fence line in the middle of the night. That's like Benghazi. Hurry. Charlie 2 on scene. Echo 1 on scene. Charlie 1 on scene. Charlie 3, what's your ETA, said control. 2 mics? I lied. It's more like 5 minutes. So I channeled Bo Duke, and I really sailed the truck over the so-called road. The interior of the vehicle looked like a bounce house. I skid to a halt at the rally point just shy of 3 minutes. Already, the other patrols are out of their vehicles. Ballistic vests on, M4s slung, helmets fashioned. Some of them had been to Afghanistan. Some of them had been to Iraq. Some were street cops back in Dallas. I jump out of the vehicle with zero equipment on. As I look at the squad and they at me, that Sesame Street song plays in my head. One of these things is not like the other. I dive back in my vehicle and frantically retrieve my ballistic vest. I slung my M4, but it's not quite right. As I fasten my helmet straps, the master sergeant approaches. "Unseen," I said. "I see." The master sergeant's total lack of sarcasm unnerved me. The master sergeant turned to the squad. "Line up on me." We lined up OK Corral style and walked slowly toward the fence line. I thought, now settle down, focus. Yeah, there's 30 or 40 people over there, and they're not giving out free hugs. "Keep your pace slow," said the master sergeant. "We are projecting a presence. Let them see us coming." At about 50 yards away, I began to see what looked like to be all young males, moving around with a lot of energy, but no clear purpose. One guy clambered onto a rooftop, pacing back and forth, shaking his fist in our direction. Others shook the fence line. "Stay on line," the master sergeant said. Our squad moved within 30 yards, and I got a really good look, and things got weird. I had served 16 years in the Air Force. I had gone all over the globe. I finally meet the opposition, and they were all wearing pastel-colored disco shirts. I think, did you guys just roll out of a house party and kind of cruise on over to fight the infidels? One guy in bright yellow, set off by silver bling, kneeled at the fence. He lit a small pile of paper, which flared up for an instant, then fizzled. "I hope that individual realizes that the fence is metal and therefore will not burn," said the master sergeant. The guys in salmon pink, neon orange, aqua blue were shaking the fence. Across the street, the roof pacer sported a lovely turquoise, using the roof like a catwalk. At this point, my mind was not on danger, but on the surrealness of the whole scene. What were we going to do when we finally closed the distance with these Saturday Night Fever extras? Then the pastel sea suddenly became calm. They looked at us. We looked at them. Perhaps they did some quick arithmetic. Armed Americans walking like Hollywood Western gunfighters in our directions equals misfortune. Perhaps they were just inexperienced in the whole death to America thing and didn't know quite what to do next. Then, as if on cue, the red and blue lights of Saudi police cars zipped around the corner from the protesters. Getting arrested by the Saudi police is a very bad thing, and it got them really moving. The fire starter in yellow, he broke into an Olympic time trial sprint. His platform shoes were pounding on the concrete. The fence shakers, they just charged en masse down an alleyway, and the roof pacer leapt from his perch. Our squad stood before an empty fence line and the remains of a tiny fire. The master sergeant craned his head to the left, to the right. He lifted his helmet. He wiped his forehead. "Well, I guess we better walk back. The next day, I asked my superiors about the protesters, but they could not or would not tell me anything. When I joined at 17, I knew my commitment meant a slippery slope toward violence. What I could not imagine was how it could be so funny.